my name is Clarissa Alva, and for the first part of our assignment, I think some effective ways that we can help reduce war on crime is having the social workers dig deep into the foster parents. Like, they need to find out where they live, how they live their life, which I'm pretty sure they already do, but I feel like they need to dig deeper into, like, where they live, how their relationship is with their parents, how their relationship is with their neighbors, stuff like that. Because if these children are going to be living with these foster parents, then they need to be living in a safe environment. I mean, that's how you're going to raise good children. If you're in a dangerous environment, then you're going to be raising kids who are always going to be involved in crimes. They're going to be incarcerated. They're going to be expelled from school. I feel like the only way you can reduce war on crime in, like, your neighborhood is probably just who you surround yourself by, because the people who you surround yourself by can either have a good or bad impact on you. Many of your friends can peer pressure you into trying new things such as alcohol and drugs and other stuff. I know my school had this thing called Red Ribbon Week, where it was like the school tried to give us knowledge on what drug use was and how it can affect your life. But I mean, all they would do was just give us stickers saying, like, say no to drugs, and then we would have dress up days, but they never had any, like, law enforcement officers come over to our schools and talk about what drug abuse actually does to your body. And I feel like that's what the school should bring. The school needs to bring law enforcement officers to the schools to teach these young children and the youth on how bad drug use is for your body and how it can affect your future. In the video Why US Presidents Can't Win War on Drugs, it states that in 1979, 14.1% drug use was used, and then it went back down around 1999. It went down to 6.7%, and then it went right back up in 2019, 13%. And this was all used by 12-year-olds and up. And these drugs were used by children who were 12 and up. So for part 2 of this assignment, there are better ways for the use of war on drugs, but not everyone's going to take the advice. Like, yes, there are rehabilitation centers and homes for them, but they're only going to get the help whenever they want to. People aren't going to influence them to go and get the help themselves. Some people will have to have their family members help them get into the homes, the rehabilitation homes, because they're too deep into the drugs. In another video, Crisis Next Door, the fentanyl epidemic, in the first 10 minutes, these 3 families talk about their sons who are addicted to drugs, and they all die because they overdose. All of these cases are very similar because they all end with overdose, and the one that really stuck to me was the one with the Stevenson family, because it was 2 brothers who were addicted to fentanyl, I believe, and the older brother had died, and he had already had a family. His wife was pregnant, and then the second brother was already addicted to drugs, but after he found out that his brother died from overdose, I guess something had kicked in, and he was, like, I guess just sad. Like, he heard the news. Maybe he was just upset that his brother had died from overdose, and then there was no other way. There was no other option. Then he died from overdose. And then the second brother ended up passing away due to overdose. So I actually do have a close relative. He was very addicted to drugs and alcohol, but my aunt she took him to Mexico so he can go to a rehabilitation center so he can get better, and I think it worked. He was there for around 2 years. I don't really want to say much, but I want to say he's gotten better because I think it really helped him. Okay, so for the last part, part 3, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the war on drugs isn't effective because the government can't control the whole 50 states and all the little cities that they have in them. They have other they have bigger worries in the country than drugs, I guess you would say. Their priorities are different. Because in the video, the crystal meth epidemic plaguing Fresno, right in the beginning, as soon as you watch the video, there's like a bunch of homeless people, and of course they buy drugs, and they have suppliers. And then in minute 4, one of the suppliers is being interviewed by the girl, and he's telling her that, oh, this isn't like the only place that homeless people are getting their drugs from, and like this isn't where they're all staying. There's like many places along the county. And I could say that's everywhere because every state and city has like different officers have bigger crimes to worry about than drugs, like you would say. But I feel like they should care about it equally. That's what I'm trying to say. So continuing with the same video, plaguing Fresno, the supplier says that most of the homeless in Fresno are all Hispanic, and the girl, the interviewer, she brings out some evidence saying that Fresno's one of the biggest cities that has one of the major highways, the I-5, I believe, and it brings traffic from the whole state, from Mexico to LA to Bakersfield, Fresno, and then up north as well. So I would say that the war on drugs crime isn't effective because there's just a lot going on in the country and not a lot of officers and laws to be protected from these drugs, because they're always going to be around. No matter if there's a law to like make them illegal, they're always going to make their way back in. People are going to have their suppliers. They're going to come from all over the world. I don't think no amount of money, like government funding, will get rid of the drugs. So that's where I stand.